living in nature is just a profoundly satisfying way to exist, and I found myself getting more and more enamored of the natural world and learning about plants, learning about the local ecology, and just wanting to be there as much as possible. I'm Laura Silverman. I'm the founding naturalist of the Outside Institute. We're based in Sullivan County, and our mission is to connect people to the natural world. We lead guided nature walks, we do forest bathing, foraging excursions, some wildcrafting workshops. Essentially, we just help people get outside and understand what it is that they're experiencing.
Figure out if I'm gonna do something. Yeah.
So this is that plant that I was telling you about before called spice bush. It's edible. It makes berries that are delicious. It's called Appalachian allspice. But the twigs you can simmer for tea, and when it makes beautiful little yellow flowers in the spring. It's important to think about the way the indigenous people lived in relation to the land, and their tenet of always giving back every time they took something. So I think it's important to be conscious of that. Like, what are you giving when you're taking something from the land? Even if you're somebody who's coming up here to live here, like, don't come up here because you think it's cute or, you know, cheaper, or come up here because you want to really become a true part of the community, not only engaging with the other people that are up here, but with the entire natural world that's here living in community with you. The trees and plants, the animals, the birds, the insects. All of this enriches our lives so much, and I often tell people, it's the difference between walking into a party where you don't know anybody and it just looks like a big sea of kind of faces, and walking into a party where it's all your good friends, people that you forged relationships with. Like, going out into the woods where it's just a big sea of green is one thing, but where you start to recognize, oh, that's a grapevine, oh, that's a tulip poplar, oh, that's a hemlock tree, oh, that's a birch. And not only knowing their names, but what they represent in terms of the total ecology, it's really life-changing, and that's something worth pursuing. One of the most gratifying things about the work I do is seeing the way people are almost immediately transformed by being in the woods. Even die-hard city people, I think there's something very primal in all of us, that when we get out in nature, if we can kind of relax, and it's helpful to have a guide if you're new to it, because some people do come with a lot of fears and phobias of ticks and spiders and snakes and all kinds of things that really are our natural playmates. I think people regress and reconnect to that moment of childhood where you were like making daisy chains on the lawn or chasing a butterfly or whatever, and I just really see people's shields kind of fall away, their springs uncoil, and they relax into what this natural experience is. And it's actually scientifically proven that the pheromones and phytoncides that the trees and plants are emitting are super beneficial for humans. They help us relax. They can even lower our cholesterol. They improve our mood. So if you need science as an incentive to get out there and reap the benefits, you have that as well. So thanks for coming along on this walk in these beautiful woods. I hope you picked up some interesting tips. Maybe have the courage to nibble a little something. Be careful, make sure you know what you're doing. And if you'd like to learn more, you can go to my website, theoutsideinstitute.org. I've got field guides for sale that are specifically written to apply to the upper Delaware and Hudson Valleys, and they're great for novices. Our field guides are not like other field guides. They're really written in a much more accessible way. There's very little Latin and not so much botany. It's more about really helping you learn to identify the plants and then understanding how to be in relationship with them, whether that's through medicinal use or culinary use or craft use or just admiring their beauty. And on my website is also a calendar of events. Come for a walk, sign up for a class, come to the Stick It In where I bartend and make cocktails with wild foraged ingredients. But most importantly, get outside. That's really what it's all about.